And then after the next day, God explained to me what a spirit of poverty is. See, I thought a spirit of poverty was this thing that came and landed on people, and no matter what they did, like the island of Haiti we were talking about earlier, that no matter what the people did to pull themselves up, this spirit of poverty pulled them back down. Amen? Because after all, it's not their fault they have a spirit of poverty, because this spirit of poverty is holding on to them and dragging them down, and they can't pay their rent, they can't pay their light bill, and they can't do this, and they won't do that. And you know, so when God said to rebuke a spirit of poverty, I was all there to go, poverty, loose this poor family and let them go. And then God told me the next day how the spirit of poverty manifests. And I about fell over. Because He said the spirit of poverty can hide behind or manifest as, my God, I've been rebuking laziness and it hadn't been leaving. Is lights coming on yet? Are you hearing with your heart while some of our prayers haven't worked? Because we're sitting there saying, well, it's so lazy, and they are, but poverty is hiding behind lazy. Amen? It's hiding behind or manifesting itself so that we say, man, that's lazy, that's lazy, that's lazy. We'll get another word in a minute. Man, you won't even try to get a job. You won't try. And we're over here rebuking that and praying about that, and it's a spirit of poverty. But it's manifesting itself as lazy, because as long as it can keep them lazy, they'll automatically be in what? Poverty. Isn't that something? And God said that it manifests as lack of initiative. You know anybody that has no initiative whatsoever? And they say, well, cuz, I just know, yeah. And we're over here saying, you know, we're rebuking that. We're praying that they get initiative. And what it is, the spirit of poverty has them. And it's holding them. And it's manifesting on the outside with a different set of symptoms than what the root is. That's how demons stay so long in people, because they manifest one set of issues, but the root of it is something else. And if you don't know what the root is, you can't put the axe to the root and cut the root off like Jesus. He spoke to the root of that tree, and it died overnight, and we'd be going along speaking to the leaves and the bushes and to something else, and God knows. So I just want you to know that some things, spirits hide themselves in different manifestations so that you won't know what to rebuke. And then He goes down and torments you and says, well, you rebuked it and it didn't leave, and you prayed and it didn't go. And He knows all the time He's hiding in another form. All right, see, all right so far. Laziness, lack of initiative, drowsiness, dullness, stubbornness. Oh, my. Well, that's stubbornness. I rebuke stubbornness. But it's a spirit of poverty. See, I've been thinking this spirit of poverty was holding people down, and what the spirit of poverty was doing was it was manifesting all these symptoms, and He didn't even have to hold them down. See what I'm saying? And then you get in trouble if you say, well, I tried. And they say, well, I tried and it didn't help, so I'm never going to try. That's a spirit of poverty. See, I didn't know that. And the government's trying to give money to get rid of poverty. Well, we've tried that too. We've tried that too. It didn't work either. And we say, there's nothing going on, and yet the root of it is a total different root. Is that okay? Y'all not as happy with it. How about avoidance? I knew somebody got a Social Security check one time because he had avoidance issues. And I know because the Social Security office called and talked to me about it and wanted to know what his troubles was. And I told him the truth. I said, you can get him a job, he won't go. The church paid for him a place to live, and he found a way to mess that up. Man, a big fight, and somebody broke the doors down, and it just burnt the woman's house. And I said, everything you do for him. I said, he got a job, so he took his car apart. And then said, my car's broke down. He dismantled the motor, trying to fix some problem. You don't know nobody like this, do you? That any time it gets anywhere close to a plan, the plan falls apart. He got a Social Security check out of that. I told the woman the truth. I told him he avoided work like the plague. She couldn't do nothing to help him. He was his own worst enemy. She said, yeah, that's what the psychiatrist said. And I was a second opinion on him getting the check. But we did too good of a job because they didn't trust him to manage his own finances after that. And they called back and wanted to know if I wanted to be his co-signer on his thing. And I told him, not on your life. Last thing in the world I want is him bugging me every month for the money. No. But do you see that a spirit of poverty can manifest itself in different ways? Now that's just one spirit. A whole lot of things that are manifesting in people you love's life and people that you need to change his life. Don't go by the fruit. You got to go to the root. But you know the root is not where you can see it. And you can see the fruit. Am I confusing everybody? No. You can see the fruit. And the most common sense thing in the world is to rebuke the fruit, fight the fruit, cut the fruit, do the thing, and nip it in the bud, and do all them kind of things to the fruit. But we don't even know what the tree's made out of. Amen? And because we don't know, we're operating blind. And that's why God says, I got things to say to you that I'm going to speak them to your heart and not just to your head, because your head will file them away and say, this is some useful information to know. Amen? And God doesn't want you to have just useful information. He wants to speak some things over you and to you and through you, because there's coming a time, and it's coming soon, as that chain breaker song we were singing. God is coming, and He's going to cause a change to occur, and you're not going to be able to operate the way you've always operated. You're going to have to do things different.